Hey everybody, so we are back to where it all started, where Tammy Brackett Designs all started 7 years ago. Hard to believe that, but it was 7 years ago that I started my little company in this. It's really not a company, it's like a passion project. I started my little project down here in this sunroom, which is where we are right now. I had things to share with you guys today. It's 87 degrees upstairs, so I chose to come down here in the sunroom studio and work. You'll have to let me know like how you're seeing things because I have not done videos in this area for a really long time. Let me show you what I've been working on. I've been working on these blinged up plant stakes. So what happens here is, and we'll construct one later on in the video, probably at the end of the video. And they start with a wire. This is, I think, 24 gauge wire using what I have. Spare beads. Today I'm going to show you how I deconstruct jewelry in order to use items from the jewelry in making projects like these. I just think that they're super cool. So what you do is, like I said, I'll show you the whole process at the end of the video, but they have like this sturdy, I'll show you how this is created too, this very sturdy stem that you can push into a plant, like a house plant. I did take them outdoors yesterday, and I was able to get them into a couple of my planters, and I tell you, they are absolutely charming. I've been asked about, are they going to be in the Etsy store? And again, we'll talk about the whole Etsy store thing as the video progresses. This is like one of my favorites. Isn't it just gorgeous? I really enjoy the process of just working with new materials. So, working with beads or working with wire or learning new techniques. I think it's really important to keep your chops up in your area of, design or whatever you want to call it. But also to learn new things. I love learning new things, and this has been a really fun project. I've got this one started over here, but we'll finish up the beading on it, and then maybe in another video I can show you the spiral stuff and all that. We are going to, these look really pretty just in a vase too. I've had them in an empty honey jar from the farm, and I got beads everywhere, sorry. So I just kind of put them in the honey jar, the empty honey jar. I go through a lot of honey. We have bees on the farm, and they look so pretty, just kind of stacked in here. Can you imagine something like this as a gift to someone in hospital in lieu of fresh flowers? I know you guys know this, but you can't send fresh flowers to people doing chemo because fresh flowers may have mold and spores and things like that. So this makes a really fun design for, folks who are going through that process to have something bright and beautiful, kind of flower-like. All right, we are going to deconstruct this bracelet today. This was sent to me by Mrs. Crawford, and I really do love it. We'll take it in just a little bit. You can see that I have been deconstructing a lot of jewelry, so we do have beads and findings in these little buckets. Why do you have so many little buckets, Tammy? Because a lot of times when people send me things, I will separate them into color and, maybe even a theme. And I'll show you one of my theme baskets in just a minute. But, we had a lot of blue in this one, lots and lots of green in this one. As I've been deconstructing this, I've been dropping the deconstructed pieces in here because basically what I did, guys, with my beaded jewelry is I took this out of the Etsy store. I'm tearing it apart and I'm reusing it to do our bead charms, our plant charms right here. And that's working out really well because the bracelets were not selling at all, which is fine. You know, it's okie doke when things don't go as planned, right? You can just do something different or be something different, or, you know, take off in a different direction. No worries with that. This was kind of the beaded things and charms, all kinds of things that Miss Crawford sent, but also some things from Sandy and Judy. I love it when Sandy and Judy send things too because they're just a lot of fun to play with. So these really had that kind of steampunk, vintage-ish kind of feel to it. So not sure what's going to happen with this, but I'm sure something will. Let's go ahead and start to take our bracelet apart. The first thing I do when I get any sort of jewelry is and this is anything, I wash it in warm water and use a soft spare toothbrush and just give it a good scrub. This works really, really well. There's no need to buy something fancy or, you know, buy any kind of cleaner or anything like that. Just warm soapy water works great for me. I would be interested to know if you guys had, you know, if you clean jewelry, like if you got it at a thrift store or you know, Goodwill or something like that. How do you clean the jewelry that comes your way that way? I am looking for my little round nose pliers. Thank you, Cheryl, for sending these to me. They've come in super, super handy. The first thing that we're going to do, you can see what the bracelet looked like is right here, right? So it had a lot of beads, and they were just gorgeous, gorgeous beads, and I really, really did love them. So let me take you out just a little bit. And then you can see this is the area where I started my deconstruction. This basic bead, this basic bracelet, or it may have been a choker. It was pretty big to be a bracelet, so I'm thinking it was probably a choker. I love this, you know. I'm thinking, now how can I repurpose that? How can I save that? How can I salvage it? How can I use it in a different way? And that's another thing when you're deconstructing something. It is a great process for the old noggin, my friends, because as we get older, we kind of start losing our, you know, our thinking abilities. And I'm just going to be super honest. You know, I'm not what I was 7 years ago. You know, I'll be 66 on the 29th of July, and I have really changed. And I know that, you know, some of you guys have been watching me for years and years and years, and I'm pretty sure you've seen my change. For one thing, I post a whole lot less videos. Let's look at what we did here. I pulled this bead off of this pen, and I am not going to recycle the pen, so I'm going to PIN. I'm just going to put that over here. But the bead is awesome. I am going to chuck that right there. You can see all the things that I've deconstructed from this piece of jewelry right now. It is really getting super hot in here already. Yeah, we're to 84. There is no cool place right now, dear friends. It is just hot everywhere, all the time. And I don't mean just menopause, I mean the whole thing. So we're just, you know, you just ease it off of the band. And things like this are, it's great for just thinking, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to repurpose it? What can I make from it? I always enjoyed taking stuff apart and redoing it, or, just constructing things in general. Chris bought me a wooden peacock that I'm anxious to get started on. I like putting things together. I do believe that this comes from watching my dad work at his shop. He had a machine shop. He was a master machinist. And what he could do, like with metal and tools, and he was just an expert, expert metal worker. When I do this, there are a couple things to watch out for. So you could take this piece, this little bead right here, and you could grab the piece that you just detached from the bracelet, and you could bend it around and be able to use that piece just as is, right, on another project. So I do think I'm going to do some of that. And we're not going to do the whole thing. We are just going to do a few pieces, and then I'll show you what I've been doing with the fairy plant stakes. I believe it was watching my daddy work that instilled in me a couple of things. One is the ability to fix stuff, which he lost in later life. He collected things that he was going to fix, but he never fixed them, which was really a hard thing to watch happen. And there are a lot of reasons for that. I'm not comfortable sharing stuff like that. So anyway, he is in a facility now, so that's good news. Nice place. All right, so we're gonna pull this bead off here. She's being a little bit fussy. That's okay. Sometimes it's a lot easier to just kind of grab it. I'd love to know what you guys, how you feel about repurposing or reinventing things. You can even take this process into, like I did the bracelets. I thought, oh my gosh, these are so super cool. People are going to absolutely love these. And I sold maybe 2. And that was like it. And I was like, well, okay, so people don't love these. What can I do with them? What other things can I do with beads? And you guys know that beads have, all manner of possibilities, right? We all know that. Lordy, you can make a beaded spine on a book. You can use them as book bling. You can make journal charms and things like that. So just all kinds of possibilities to repurpose beads. All right, let's do like a couple more. As I'm detaching these from the bracelet, you will see a bit of residue, and what that residue is just just the metal being pulled apart. It's left a little bit of residue. Even though I meticulously cleaned it, it's the same thing. I always clean anything coming into my orbit. I know that sounds a little odd. I clean it and I bless it, the items as well as the person who gave them to me. I think that that's a smart thing to do when you are repurposing or recycling anything at all, no matter what. No matter what, you can always offer someone a blessing, right? All right, so we're pulling these apart. Wow, I just got my finger. All right, I think this is going to be the last one, but you know, you get the gist. Just do, you know, use what you have and repurpose and recycle and renew and re-energize, and but know when to say when. If something is just too far gone, and a lot of times, you know, y'all, it is too far gone. I really enjoy the non-consumer advocate, and Katie and I became acquainted, and we aren't acquaintances. We are Facebook friends, and I love her blog. And we, you know, I started a website called The Frugal Musician when the economy crashed in 2008, when the housing market went down. And people were still trying to tour, and I was still trying to work, which was different from what happened, you know, in 2020 when we were shut down. And being shut down shut my business down as well. I never recouped from that, but you know, that's okay too. Stuff is okay. Oh geez, there's somebody walking down the street. Hold on. Oh geez, is that Walmart? Yeah, he has a Walmart vest on. Oh my goodness, that's a little bit odd. I saw a funny meme the other day that said, you know, when you reach 45, you're suspicious of everybody walking by your house. Isn't that funny? But it's like, yeah, I just kind of like that. So there we go right here. You can see how it looked, how it's looking now, and I'm not, you know, if you have ideas about how to repurpose this, then let me know. You can see that it's very, you know, it probably was a bracelet actually, but it's super, super cool. All right, so we have some beads here. I want to show you how I am making these really cool plant sitters. I call them fairy plant sitters. I start with a spiral up here. I will leave the video where I learned to do this in the description box below, because it was from a library and it was very, very interesting. The first thing you're going to want to do is kind of grab the end of your wire and kind of make a little loop. And then grab it again, make a little loop. Grab it again, make a little loop. Now, when I usually get things about this far, I'm going to show you a little trick in just a minute. The thing is that if you're using, now this, like I said, this is a 24 gauge wire. If you're using a 24 gauge wire, you can kind of just do it with your fingers. If you don't have like the proper tools or anything like that, you can just do it with your fingers and make your swirl like this. Now, when you get your swirl made, isn't that pretty? You're going to want to turn this way. So loop down and make a right hand turn. And when you make that right hand turn, you can take the loop and center it onto your bead stake, just like that. Now this was the bottom of the bead stake. Remember, I showed you this. So we're going to go back up here and we're going to undo what we did, because we have another little thing to do at the bottom of this. There's something fun about working with wire. You know, it's like I said, it's really intriguing to just do something different. I've got some clay projects that I want to do, some salt clay projects that I'd like to do. So just all kinds of fun things in the works. All right, we are going to just do a few beads. The video that I saw said to do about a 5-inch bead strand, so I think that's really interesting. So we're just gonna kind of straighten this out down here. I'm gonna take this off, and then we will proceed with the beads that we rescued from the bracelet. We're just going to put these on. I might have to snip that because it's so crooked that I can't get a bead on it, which is fine. I am not going to have physical items on Etsy anymore. I don't think I may have anything going on Etsy anymore because I cannot list anything on Etsy, because the only way that the website works for me is to use the old version, and the old version has gone away. I am real uncertain, y'all, about what I'm going to do with Etsy. I am thinking that I would like to just start a private mailing list and be able to communicate with you guys via a private mailing list. If you are interested in being on that list so you can get apprised of the new things that I'm making, then let me know. Like I said, I'm super uncertain as to what I'm gonna do or how I'm gonna manage things. It's a new day. It's a new day, people. I am done with Etsy. It has been nothing but frustrating. It was great for so long, and then they did all these updates and changes and new applications and new, and ever since they did the new, it does not work for me. I've talked to other people and it doesn't work for them either. So, I might do anything different. I can do a private email list and keep up with you guys and show you new products and the new things that I'm creating without the hassle of... All right, I'm going to kind of measure that. That looks about 5 inches, so I'm not going to measure it. I'm going to put an ending bead on here. So you can use beads, you can use spacer beads or whatever. So I'm doing spacer beads. I'm just looking for a very small bead to add to this to kind of end the whole thing. All right, that one will do. I like the sound of beads. I think they're a lot of fun. Just for listening to them. All right, so we've got this much done. You can see that I really did focus on the top of the stake because that really is what pokes out the most, right? So just, if you're going to play around with this, and it took me a couple times to realize, hey, my focal imagery is getting lost. My focal bead is getting lost because I'm putting it too far down the wire here. So just, that was one of those things that I had to learn. It was like, oh, okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. After I had done like 10, it's like, oh, shoot, I should have done them like that. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is just take any sort of pen, pencil, whatever, and we're just going to make a loop. And then we can kind of do whatever we want to with that loop. The loop is just to hold the beads in place, right? So we've got a loop right here, you know, and if you want to get fancy dancy, then you can just put another loop in here. At this point, I fold this in half. And I think I did 18 inches because that was looking right and felt right and all that good stuff. You can do this with your fingers. You know, you can start your twist with your fingers. It's hard for me to do that. I like to hold this part right here with pliers. You know, so you're just going to kind of get it started. So I'm holding it with some pliers. And then I can, you know, kind of do the twisting. I'm not holding them quite, oops. Not holding it quite tight enough. There we go. And you do have to kind of really hang on to it. Okay, so we're going to twist, 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 twist. We're going to twist in the night away. Or day away. Or afternoon away. So, you know, takeaways. The Etsy store is disappearing. I am having a 29% off sale. Birthday 29 is the code that you use to get 29% off in the Etsy store. Because Etsy won't let me list anything, I am leaving the format for the foreseeable future. Don't know if I'll ever go back. I need to straighten that loop out a little bit. It's fun if it's like this, but to me it's not like aesthetically pleasing. So I'm gonna grab, I had a pen down here that worked really well, but I don't know what I did with that. So we're just using this little mechanical pencil. And we're just gonna kind of straighten. I can let go of this. Reminder to self. And you can kind of work it around with your fingers. I'm just going to try and put a loop in it. These are so much fun. They're easy to do. They're a lot of fun. It's like using that color thing, that creative thing, that, you know, that just energy and light and pretty colors. And then when you get them in the sun and put them into a planter, they are beautiful. When you put them into a planter in your house, they are gorgeous. Mia's been gone almost a year. And I'm putting one of these in her little, I try to keep her a little fresh flower at her little urn, and it makes me happy. And she always smelled the flowers, and she always loved to be outside, and I feel good when I can put a little flower in, at her little urn space. So there you go. It's really fun, y'all. So I hope that you disassemble something and, you know, just make it into your own. Don't give up on things. It's just like giving up on people in life. Don't give up. Just see if you can disassemble it and reuse it and repurpose it and refill it with your creative love and energy. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. I will talk to you soon. Take care.